What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy friggin' Friday. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful, glorious day. And I mean that. So, just so you know, I'm not just saying it, I mean it. Eric B. in chat early today. T. Jared is here. Wendy Miller. Bill friggin' Kavanaugh in the house. Saying cheers all. The pound lean like button. Like it was Taco Bell meal at 2 a.m. after a hazmat flight. Whew. Those late night Taco Bell trips. Those. Nothing like falling asleep with a chalupa on your chest. Am I right? Definitely right. Dane Harris is here. Bob Belkovac. My mother's in the chat. Hello, mother. Wendy Miller. Tony Bag of Donuts is here. Corgi's in the house. Baba Yaga is here. Whiskey House Pub House says, and here we go. He was a little bit early on the here we go, but we're here. We're here now. George Woodcock, Joe Dickinson, Travis Robeson, Paul Hawks, Shona Cars up in here. How's everybody doing? Live stream this week. We are going to, thanks to Mr. Bill Kavanaugh himself, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2023 Ultimate Challenge up against Remus Gatsby, Jim Beam Lineage, another Bill Kavanaugh special, Knob Creek 18, Elijah Craig 18, and Rebecca Creek 12 year. How will Elijah Craig Birthday Bourbon? That's not a thing. How will Old Forester Birthday Bourbon handle the competition? We'll find out. We will find out. On top of that, or before that, this is bourbon. Where did I put the rye at? This is regular rye. This is toasted bourbon. Oh! Unacceptable. Son of a bitch. It was right there. It was right there. I don't know. I have no where to put my toasted barrel rye Elijah Craig. I do not know. Will I find it? I don't know. Maybe it's not even worth it to look. It's got to be around here somewhere, like right by my feet. I don't know where I put it. If I come across it this evening, then I'll taste the Elijah Craig toasted barrel rye also. Could have swore it was right there, but no, it's not. Oh well, that is. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. So we're not doing that. Maybe we will. What we will do, though, is start the night off with the blind pour from the 1 Ounce Wednesday box. So let's do that. Oh. Grab a glass. Grab a sample. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. America. Well, that's a lot. It's a lot of liquid. Oh, dripping on the floor. All right, is there a label on here? Sort of, I don't know. I'm gonna Potential spam is calling. It's the kids' school. All right, can you see it? Not sure. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Okay. Closing the box. Stop. Bourbon. Definitely a bourbon. If you saw what it is, do not spoil it in chat. Oh, this is a different inside. Look at this. Look at the inside of that cap. It's like foil. It's got like a foil in there. That's interesting. That might be a rye. That's probably a rye. The more I nose it, the more I realize I was probably wrong for smell. A voicemail. Attention families. Big news today. Happy Friday. The kids didn't even have school today, but we'd like to leave you a message in the middle of your live stream. You know what? Some people work Friday nights. Some people work Friday nights and can't just answer a phone. You know? Sheesh. A little bit of an SJ, a little bit of a swirl job. Let's get this night started right. I almost fell asleep. I almost fell asleep, and luckily I didn't. Luckily I had a sudden twitch when I was about to fall asleep, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, don't do that. Don't do that." Now I know. When you grow up and you watch your dad fall asleep on the chair or something, you're like, "How does he do that?" I understand now. Totally understand. This might not be a rye. This is like teetering on the what is this rope. The tightrope of what is this? I'm still going rye. Is it a finished rye? That's also a possibility. There are some pruny notes in here. Some pruny notes, some grapey notes, some chocolatey notes, but underneath that is like a building rye fire. It's like you're throwing more rye on the fire, and oh, here it comes right now. Here comes the rye. But the more I say that, the more I'm unsure. Russell's Reserve drone pick. Bill, you can call me anytime. Anytime you want, Bill. Did somebody ruin it? Thurston Howell III. If you ruined it, then you did? Yeah, that sucks. Oh, no, you didn't. Son of a bitch. He didn't even ruin it. It's the Magi blended rye. I'm just going back in here. This happens once in a while where I pour things back, but this was for no reason. I haven't even tasted this yet. It's a cat's eye from Gene, the Magi, and that would have been nice. I thought you were saying what it was. Unless maybe you're just saying what you were drinking. Maybe that's what happened. Back in the box it goes. Now I can't show the camera anymore. Now I can't even attempt to show the camera anymore. That sucks. All right. Second try. This one's a smaller bottle. most of it went in the glass. All right, hiding it. Closing the lid. Told you guys that one was a rye. This one, probably not a rye. This one smells much different. Much darker than that. This one has a funky undertone. Didn't see any camera for your information. That doesn't... Now you can't check caps. when I can't tell if you could see it or not. I said I think it was a rye, and then haha Jack Rye. Then it takes all the fun out of it. And I was like, did you see it? And you said yes. That definitely didn't help. So now the fun is only on my end. This is strange. It's not... Huh. I need to reprocess this. It's dark and citrusy. Citrusy. It is almost like an orange, like a Gojo hand cleaner type of thing. If you cleaned your hands after working, in a barrel house all day. Your hands smell like wood and bourbon, and then you wash your hands with an orange Gojo hand soap. Hand soap. Degreaser. My lisp is bad tonight. Ugh. There's some tartness to it also. Like, trying to think of what purple fruit. Like a cranberry, possibly? Like a tart red fruit. There might be some craftiness or a small barrel here too. I feel like there is something unique that's creeping in here that isn't like... I don't know. Let's go for a taste. Down the hatch. Wow. That is very good. It's chocolatey and thick and bold. Very long finish. Shit. This might be remember last week I put that Boulder cask strength in that box? That might be what this is. I may have just pulled that out. It checks all the boxes. But then, it could be, there's a lot of stuff in there. So I'm not gonna base a guess off of that. It does check some of those boxes. High proof, thick, chocolatey, not a super traditional Kentucky bourbon profile, but a little bit different, a little bit outside the box, but still very good. Makes me lean towards that, but I know that there's a bunch of other things in there too that I have no idea, so. Yeah. There is like, I know that Boulder has like a lot of malted barley in the mash bill, and it's not exactly easy to pick up on that. So on here, that's good, because if I think that it could be that, then like I'll just look for the malted barley. But it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, or like a man with a lisp who didn't have one previously. Almost like a chocolate orange and grease. Might be wavering away from that guess. This is so good. It is 120 proof plus, well, 120. Thick. It brightens up as it gets to the back of the palate. Almost into like a cherry, like a maraschino cherry kind of thing, like on the back of the palate. But up front, it's all like thick, dark business. And it kind of like fruitens up on the back. Great finish. Really coats, like makes your mouth water and build up with all the good build up that you want a good bourbon to do, or whatever the hell this is. Pretty sure it's a bourbon, 120 plus proof. It's really, really good. Eight point 8.47. It is very, very, very good, bordering on great. Could it get a higher score? Yeah. I debated on giving it a higher score, but I did not. Damn, that is good. Third sip. I never take a third sip after I score it. It might be lower proof than that. Huh. It might be a lower proof whiskey than I thought. Third sip didn't hit as hard. If my initial thought was it could be a higher score after the third sip, I wish I would have waited after the third sip. I probably would have bumped it a little bit. Third sip starts to fall off a little bit more. If I scored it after that, after the third sip, probably closer to 8 point. Wow, how did I get my friggin' numbers all mixed up? What on earth am I doing here? 8.4 is not very good, bordering on great. Very good, bordering on great is like a 7.9. Okay, where's my scoring system? I've been doing this scoring system for years. That's not it. That's my scoring system. Very good, bordering on great is 7.9 to 8. Great to spectacular. So it's definitely not an 8.4. Let me rephrase that. 7.85 is more what I was looking for. I don't know how I screwed up my own scoring system. I'm going to go back and see if anyone corrected me. Yeah, see, Mark even says 8.47. That's busting it down. Right? I don't even know how I screwed that up. Yeah, Mark, how you feeling, buddy? You feeling good? I just called you buddy like I was shook. I'm sorry. How you feeling, bruh? I just asked you like I'm my children. My 8-year-old, 9-year-old? 9-year-old calls me bruh. Or is she 8? I think there's something wrong with me right now. I feel like there's something wrong. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm glad that there are 156 people in here to keep an eye on it. Jeez Louise. Christian is sipping on some Rebel Small Batch Reserve. Really not bad for a budget bottle. Yeah, I totally agree. Didn't have the rye, so an EC toasted bourbon. I've not been a fan of the toasted bourbon, but that's possibly just because I'm not a fan of toasted stuff. Do you ever revisit the box to make it less blind? The curiosity would drive me nuts. What do you mean by revisiting the box to make it less blind? Revisit the box. Oh, to see what's in the box? Typically no. But, like tonight, I sort of revisited the box because I knew that there was a birthday bourbon in there that I grabbed. And then, before I pulled out the birthday bourbon, but I found I found the birthday bourbon, but before I found the birthday bourbon in the box, I also saw this Jim Beam Lineage in there. And I was like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to try that against the birthday bourbon. Also, the same with this Remus Gatsby. So I didn't dig all the way through the box, but I'd say probably I saw maybe a third of what was in there, just finding those. I wanted to find a couple things to compare the birthday bourbon to, blind, so I don't revisit it on purpose to refresh my memory. But I was looking for a topic for the live stream tonight, and so I had to dig through it a little bit. But that being said, I have no idea what that was unless it's the Boulder cask strength, but I don't believe that it is now. It tastes too low proof. But let's find out together. After we read the super chat from the super Mark Boyer. Hey Matthew, so you're over the COVID? Oh, okay. Good, I'm very happy to hear that. We drove over to the cottage on Saginaw Bay for the weekend. Warm and humid here, having a pour and watching your tasting genius. Love you, brother. Love you too, Mark. I'm super happy you're feeling good. By the way, you can't really see it. It's above the Barrel King bottle. Damn, you really can't see it at all. Maybe if I get unfocused. Huh? No, you really can't see it. Your painting is back there on the wall. It's right above the Barrel King bottle, next to the bowling sign. It's part of the set, but you can't see it because it's too dark right there. Just realize that. What was it? Why did I wear a long sleeve shirt tonight? I know why, because I almost fell asleep and then I realized I needed a clean shirt and I grabbed the first black shirt possible and it was a long sleeve. Found out later. Let's find out what this was. Oh, wow. Okay, so this explains a lot. It explains a lot, but also I was totally wrong. This is from Bill Kavanaugh, 110 proof. Sheila. Bardstown Founders stout beer finish. That explains the similar characteristics to that Boulder. That Boulder bottle. Still, that was really very good. That explained the weirdness of it and why I couldn't quite comprehend it and I had to refocus because beer finish. I forget that those exist. Do I have that one? Oh, that almost fell. Pfeiffer Pavitt, Foursquare, Goose Island. That's the beer one I have. By the way, one of these nights I should do a full tasting of all the Bardstown bottles I have. That would probably not end up well. All the finished Bardstown products I have. That'd be fun. Oops. It's been a long week. I'm sorry. We'll get right back in the flow here. I promise. Maybe you should have napped. I'm telling you, the amount of exhaustion I've been feeling is terrible. As long as you remember the kids' names, you're golden. Yeah. Fresh Crack Rare Breed. Nice. 12-year Bullet Rye. Smooth as hell. You know what's really crazy about the 12-year Bullet Rye? I didn't review it yet. And I'm glad that I didn't because when I first opened that bottle, I was like, this is tremendous. And it's weird because the oak really came through and it tasted like a bourbon drinker's rye. And then I went back to it I don't know, month and a half later, 2 months later, and guess what? It's super rye forward. I feel like the flavor from first crack to a couple months down the road is completely different. And that doesn't happen a lot where it's completely different. Has anyone else found that on the 12-year, the Bullet Rye? Anyone else, or is it just me? Fresh crack of Spirit Walker 2 for the first time. They did good. Heck yeah. Little Spirit Walker action. Another one from Mark. Asked Sean this week if I should have grabbed Rebel 10 year at 220, Michigan State minimum. 7 buyer's remorse. Rebel 10 year is friggin' so good. Rebel 10 year is, and they're not even 10 years old. They're like usually 12 to 14 years old. Yeah, Rebel 10 year is one of my, I think that it, I know that's 120 there, but here it's like, I guess it's $100 here. So putting it in a daily drinker category is pretty obnoxious to do, but like if I wanted to have a bourbon and I didn't know what to pour, Rebel 10 year is like always super solid. Oh, Thurston. Love you too, Thurston. Sorry that I didn't mean to give you any shit. It wasn't a big deal at all. I thought you did it on purpose though. But I know you did not. And I appreciate it. Forgot that was in there. It's pretty darn good. It is good. Need a sponsored by Bill Kavanaugh sticker, right? There are a lot of Bill Kavanaugh samples in there. And not even all of them are in there. Like, they just throw more in there as the samples come out. But I've started also putting in, over the past month or so, like just putting in random stuff in there too, like out of the bottles I have. Because somebody made a comment that like, is everything in there like really, really good? So you automatically give a good score. And the answer to that is either no or I don't know because I haven't had all the stuff in there. And there's a lot of stuff in there that I've never even heard of before. But I did put some like things in there that just to throw me off. Because I do need to keep it fair and not assume that everything is very good. Even though, I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there that I've never even tasted or not necessarily even really heard of before. But sometimes I go on a streak and I get really lucky. Stuart Butcher, good evening. Good evening, Stuart. Biggest bust of the year so far? Woodford Batch Proof is not good this year at all. It's a Woodford Bad Proof. Sorry, Woodford, but not good. Just because I send it, it doesn't mean it's good. Now I know what the next thing I'm sent you will be. Well, it's funny because that Bardstown, this stout beer finish, who knows if I would have liked that. I had no idea whether I liked that or not. But it was so different that I really, really enjoyed it. All right. That was that. I don't know where the hell my Elijah Craig toasted rye is. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to look. Because I did want to do that tonight. And if I can't find it, we'll get right into the birthday bourbon flight. 1 second. I found it. After looking far and wide, I found it. It was buried behind all my Elijah Craig barrel proofs for no reason. Why did I put it there? Great question. Well, we found it. I'm so Bill. Oh man, Bill, that's a disaster. I'm a disaster. You know it. Everybody knows it. All right, let's see. Matt, you do not use the Dewey Decimal System to track where your bourbon is located? No, I use Matt's memory system, which is a terrible system. But I swore it was right by my feet because I was going to shoot a video where I compared it to the regular rye and the toasted bourbon. And I had all three of them sitting there until I didn't. So there's that. All right, come off of there. Friggin'. America. There. All right, we're getting into it. All right. Whatever. EC toasted rye. Well, that's kind of dark looking. That's kind of dark for, you know, I mean, I guess it's been in a second barrel, so explains a little bit. But going into a toasted product, always fair to say that I'm not an enormous fan of toasted products. So I don't have high expectations. But, yeah, no. I try to think in my head all the notes that other people use when they smell or taste toasted products. Like, oh, it's like s'mores or marshmallows or graham crackers. I only smell the trim around a freshly lacquered, the wood trim that's just like freshly lacquered or varnished or whatever the hell you call it. That's what you get when you grow up in a house with a father who just builds everything himself. Yeah. It smells like a home renovation project or a home improvement project. Can I see graham cracker and marshmallow in there? Maybe a little bit. But my memories don't allow me to go right to that. My memories bring me right to, you know, my childhood recollection of what this smells like to me. And that's all the tasting is just smelling memories, basically. Clint Nolan enjoying a few pours of batch 81. It's getting low. Good shit, brother. Thank you. I tried some of that the other night and I was like, dang. I was happy with that. More really good stuff coming soon too. I like toasted rye is better than toasted bourbon, says WJK. I think me too, probably. But Mark Boyer, freaking another super chat from Mark, killing it. Matt, I need to send you some Northern Michigan bottles. There's a place that a childhood friend of mine, his mom, either works there or used to work there. I think it's called like Northern Latitudes. Is that it? I don't remember actually. Somewhere in Leelanau County. But What are some of the Northern Michigan ones, Mark? Mesquite barbecue note? Bill, yes, but let me say this. I see your mesquite barbecue note and I feel you, but there's a bottle that I have here that is literally the most mesquite thing I've ever. I still have to review this thing because the one I shot did not turn out very good. I shot this review and then reviewed my footage. Bad video. This Warbringer mesquite smoked California bourbon. Okay, yeah, that's like putting your face into a smoker. That is wild. But I can see where you could get that on toasted stuff. Now it really smells like it because I just smelled this. That's interesting. More floor whiskey. All right, down the hatch, Elijah Craig toasted rye. Yeah, it's too toasted for me to really enjoy. Do I like it more than the bourbon? Yeah, probably. I was very negative about the bourbon, which is a fault of mine. America. I shouldn't have been that negative about it, considering it's not the whiskey's fault that I don't necessarily love it. A lot of toasted stuff tastes to me like they're trying to mask something. Tastes like a masked whiskey. Oh, wait a minute. The toasted bourbon might be less toasted by a long shot. Maybe because it's been open a while? I don't know. Maybe the toasted notes fade away after a bit. Ooh. Now, yeah, that's not very good. That is light and flimsy and sharp. And just like, they put a layer of toasted oak on top. That's not. Mm-mm. The rye tastes better. The bourbon smells better. I'm not gonna, no. I'll save it for a review. I'll review it all. But you already know my feelings. I mean, it's just not my jam. It's not something that I love, but maybe my feelings will change about toasted stuff down the road. Maybe it will. Doubt it. We have a blind flight to do. $20 cheaper. Yeah, I can't remember how much was it like? Was it it was in my bourbon hunting video. Was it 69 bucks? Or something like that. What you get when you're cutting a board and the saw blade burns the side of the woods it cuts? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what I get. It just smells like home construction. Yeah, Northern Latitudes is the one I was thinking about. Northern Latitudes. Yeah, that's the one. I'm not sure if she still works there or not, but a childhood friend of mine's mom worked there for a while. Mammoth, had some Mammoth, not a lot. Grand Traverse Distillery. I think I've had a couple of those, not many recently. Traverse City Whiskey Co. Yeah, I've had some single barrels from there. Iron Fish. Iron Fish has a lot of stuff. When I was in the UP, there's a ton of Iron Fish stuff up there. They do like a ton of like finished products, I know for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'd definitely love to taste through some of that stuff. Can we see Barrel King sourcing a Ben Holiday barrel in the future? Two of Missouri's finest, that would be awesome. I don't know if Ben Holiday just sells barrels of whiskey or not. Like, if Holiday does that or not. I'd love to blend with it. That'd be a lot of fun. How do you feel about Michter's Toasted Barrel Strength Rye? The same, unfortunately. I think Cameron sent me one that, I can't remember what year it was from, but it tasted like a really crazy dusty, almost like a cognac or Armagnac or something that blew my mind. But since then, I mean, they really pick up on that toasted note a lot. And it's not the whiskey's fault, it's just my fault. Can we somewhat agree that Elijah Craig toasted rye is somewhat dessert? No, I can't. I'm not saying that I think that you're wrong, because I don't. I don't taste it that way. But I can. A lot of people do. A lot of people say they get marshmallow and s'mores and stuff off of those, but just not me. Stephen Elston, hello. Chris Norris says shame. Yeah, it smells like home construction, damn it. Green lumber and like friggin', lacquer and stuff. Maybe I need to send Matt a flight of all toasted and double oak stuff. See what is the best and worst of things that aren't his jam. He'd have to drink that stuff all stream. That'd be fun. I'd totally do it. It's not like I'm against tasting stuff I dislike. I almost did that tonight, actually. I have the bottles right here. I was going to do this flight. Lead Slingers 10. Where's it at? Old Tub. Breckenridge. Calumet 8. 291. Then I decided not to. The last minute. I decided to go a different route. And by last minute, I mean not exactly last minute. Hi, Matt. Happy Friday. Drinking some Jack Daniel's single barrel rye tonight. Hell yeah, the barrel proof ryes are so good. Bottle recommendation for a bachelor party. Oh, boy. What kind of a bachelor party? Are you guys like 22 or are you like 42? That will point me in the right direction. On a maturity level, where are we at? If it tastes like pressure treated wood, let me know and grab one. The Warbringer you mentioned, is that War Master Edition? No, it's yes and no. It's the Cowboy Edition, so it's basically Josh Barnett's edition. It's a single barrel, but Donald Cerrone picked the single barrel. So it's Donald Cowboy Cerrone's Cowboy Edition. So the same thing as the War Master Edition, just this bottle was picked by Donald Cerrone. This barrel. Same thing. I think that the War Master one has a red label, pretty sure. 24, but my uncles will chime in for this one. Okay. No Coy Hill, Bill. That's a bad idea. Okay, so it's a bachelor party. I'm assuming that you won't just be drinking whiskey. Let me think about. I'll think of something. Just give me a couple minutes while I pour this blind flight. Let me think about that, because there's going to be something specific I'll think of. It'll just take me a minute. It's like that Kanye West interview. What did Kanye West say that one time? Hold on. That's going to bother me too. Now I got to find it. By the way, that video I shot quite a while ago, and I don't even know how I even brought it up in the video, where I was like, you can call me Puff Daddy, or P. Diddy, or Diddy for short. That aged so poorly that I want to pull that video off of my damn YouTube. How bad is that I said that in the video, before anything happened with him, by the way. he may or may not at that point have been like accused of like maybe planning Tupac's death at that point. But that was just a rumor. Turns out, can't compare myself, can't like say that I'm somebody else anymore because that person turns out to be a terrible, horrible, no good, awful person. And that video's still out there. So, geez Louise. The things you regret. Kanye West interview. Is this it? Hold on. Found it.
No. Well, why don't we do this? Let's take a quick break. When we
no,
come back, we're going to hear Kanye's answer.
we're not going to Jimmy Kimmel the situation.
No, we're going to come right back.
No, we're not going to come right back.
Okay.
We're not going to Jimmy Kimmel the situation.
Fair enough.
We're going to give me time to think.
Okay. Fair enough.
You asked me a serious question, and I'm going to take some time to think about my answer. I'm going to use time to my advantage in this situation.
You want me to repeat?
No.
Well, why don't we do this? Let's take a quick break.
Use time to my advantage. Rockhill Farms or Old Fitz 10 or Willet Estate 8 year? Those are three different monsters, three different things right there. Oh man. Willet Estate 8 year, is that bourbon? So the thing is, Rock Hill is overrated and overpriced. It's still very good. Old Fitz 10, if you can get it at retail, is very good for, 100 and some odd dollars. I've had mixed feelings about Old Fitz 10 actually. But if you can get it at retail, it's fine. The Willet Estate 8 year, those are so different. Like, even amongst other 8 year Willets. I don't know how to... those are like three different kinds of bourbon. The Rock Hill, Buffalo Trace Profile, pretty damn good. Old Fitz 10. If I had to get a bottle of it, the Willet Estate stuff is just so if you can taste the Willet first and you know you love it, if you know you love that specific bottling, then probably the Willet. And then Old Fitz 10, you can't really go wrong with that. The Rock Hill Farm stuff, if you can get it at retail, sure. I don't really have an order. If I just gave you an order, it'd seem like that'd probably be the best way to go about it and move on with my life. But I can't sit here and lie to you and tell you I have an order because I don't. And I know the pricing is difficult too because if you're talking about MSRP or if you're talking about having to buy them on secondary or shit, like that Willet Estate 8 year can get extremely expensive. Steph Curry 15 year bourbon, signed bottle, retail was $4,500. Thank you, Bill, for leaving it there. 15 year bourbon. At least it's 15 year and not like 6 year whatever. But still, that's ridiculous. Got offered the Star Trek Series 5 for $350. I know the whiskey's probably not worth that much, but overall, with the collector being cool, is it worth it? That depends on how much you absolutely love Star Trek, I suppose.
You want me to repeat?
No. No.
Why don't we do this? Let's take a quick break.
No,
When we
no,
come
no,
back, we're
no,
gonna
no,
hear-
no,
Jeez,
no,
Tanya,
we're not
stop.
judging-
Player exclusive. 15-year straight bourbon whiskey. Gentleman's cut. That's what my dad used to call my haircuts when I was a little kid. A gentleman's cut. That's insane. Hey, it comes in a nice wooden box, looks like a Knob Creek wooden box. Sheesh. That's too much. And the Star Trek thing? Oh man, you have to be really into Star Trek to pay $3.50 for a whiskey. Credit card. I used to bowl multiple 300s, 710 pickups, 800 series. How's your game looking? Poor. My game's looking really bad, Craig. I don't even really want to talk about it. Not good. I'm in a slump. I'm in a bit of a slump. And I'm not happy about that. But it'll get better. It'll get better. I'll talk about it when I'm doing good. Just something's off. Either my timing is off or I'm just not reading the lane right. I'm not looking, I am a 2-finger, no thumb bowler. So I have a pretty high rev rate. So all my balls read the lane really early. But when I take my hand out of the ball and try to roll it, then I run into more issues because for some reason it just does not go through the pins well enough to strike. And I'm getting so mad. Why did you bring it up? Multiple 300s. Not me. Listen, you know how my game is going when it's going well because I'll tell you all about it. Right now, I don't want to talk about it whatsoever. Son of a bitch. I need to get some labels for these glasses. I did get I don't know if I said, stop me if I said this already, but Carissa and I went and got our PAPs measured and our tilt and our rotation, all professionally measured so that our balls can be drilled properly now. And that was a good time. Chase Nadu from Grand Junction, he's just won, well, didn't win, but he got exempt on the PBA Tour this year. So, professional bowler, that guy. He did that for us, and we really appreciated it. Was he amazed by my bowling game? Not so much. Chase said, you ever thought about putting your thumb in the ball? And then later he said, you ever think about bowling two-handed? So that's how that went. But not a lot of pro shops around here. Actually, 0 pro shops around here take that extra step and measure you or watch you bowl to see how your balls should be drilled the correct way. But he went out of his way and spent a long time with us to do it, and it was a really cool experience. That's an F. All right. How far behind in chat am I? Oh, Jeff Mahar. Anyone try the new Redbreast 18 year? It's been aged in a combination of ex-bourbon, Oloroso sherry, cream sherry, and ruby port casks. I gotta try it. That sounds really good. The Redbreast 12 is really damn good. What's the proof on the 18 year? I'm guessing it's not a cask strength. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. First pour boulder casting tonight, really saw pour, right? Isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna use the time to my advantage, Dr. Kobe. He asked me a serious question. Derek Trix has a new bourbon coming out. Derek Trucks? I don't know who Derek Trucks is. Derek Trucks sounds like a country singer, if I had to guess. all my balls leave the lane early. Which side of the lane? The right side or the left side? I call the gutter the express lane. It just gets there a little bit quicker, and you have to pay the toll. The major spare that I'm having trouble picking up lately, real pesky one. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Damn, I hate when I do that. Heaven Hill 17 versus Russell's Reserve 13. Heaven Hill 17 for sure. Versus Russell's Reserve 15. I don't have a Heaven Hill 17 to compare to the Russell's Reserve 15. I think that'd be really close. I remember that I loved the Heaven Hill 17 when I tried the samples of it, but you have to, maybe Bill Kavanaugh would answer that. Bill Kavanaugh probably have a very trustworthy opinion on that. Or Cameron, Drums and Drams, I trust his opinion on it. But I'd also question him about it. You know what I mean? It's legitimately called Ass Pocket Whiskey. Gotta be good, right? What the hell's Ass Pocket Whiskey? That sounds terrible. Star Trek 5 for $350 or Russell's Reserve 15 for $400. That's my whiskey budget for 2 months. Okay. Russell's Reserve 15 is like one of the best bourbons in recent memory. Star Trek hasn't even been a good show. Sorry, Dad. Next Generation? I don't know. I mean, the show was even like, not quite sure if you know? How does the damn Star Trek theme go? Son of a bitch. If I was a little bit more up to date on my start, it's like, huh. I'd definitely go Russell's 15. Unless you... Let me get... So is it like Star Trek 5 and you don't open it? It's just leave it there filled up for a collector's item? Or Russell's Reserve 15 and you love to drink it? Saucy Shane, that's naughty. You're naughty. Huge Trekkie. Two-finger bowler here too. Yeah, I want to go to a lane or a center that has specto, so I can like see like this my speed off my hand and the rev rate and stuff. Why do I want to see this? Like, will it really matter? No. I'm just a nerd when it comes to everything. Even if I'm not great at it, I still get really nerdy about it. Still get super nerdy about it. Stuart Butcher, what type of balls do you use? Or if you have your own bowling balls, what are the ones that you enjoy the most? What do you do with your thumb? 92 proof for the Redbreast. All right. Okay, so Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, America, is going to go in glass A because it is about to be my wife's birthday tomorrow. Carissa's birthday is tomorrow. So that is why it's in glass A. About to be Carissa's birthday in glass A. In glass B, we'll do Remus Gatsby Reserve. Because Remus belonged in prison because he killed his wife in broad daylight. Killed her. Totally dead. Belonged in prison. Glass B. Glass C will be Jim Beam Lineage because I couldn't wait to try it, to pull it out of the box to try it. I could not wait, so it's in glass C. Yes, it is. In glass D, we'll do Knob Creek 18. America. Is that the same amount? Knob Creek 18 and D because it has a dangly neck tag. It's a dangler. In E will be Elijah Craig 18 because it's almost empty. Makes sense. Don't know how I'd figure it out any other way. E, Elijah Craig. And then F is Rebecca Creek 12-year cask strength, 99.68 proof. America. It's going to go in F because I finally emailed Dan H. and got this to me. He got this to me. So, or it's because it's pretty full. Either way. All right. Beer. Oh, I dropped my fuzzy. Be right back. Gotta grab the Julie like Wheel of Confusion. I was gonna grab the Thrasher Wheel of Confusion as well to put on top of it like normal, but I've been using the Thrasher Wheel of Confusion as a bowling ball rotator when I clean my balls. Thank you, Thrasher, for helping me clean my balls. All right. Here we go. Get under it. Stay behind it. Give them the old spread ski. Even it out. And around we go. Oh, why does it sound all crunchy? What's in there? Sand? I don't know. Okay, good. All right, putting them down in random spots. I'll tell you what, these smell really damn good just sitting here. They smell really good. Do I have a glass marker? A glass marker. The organization around here is impeccable. Found one. Also found my blue blockers. I'll label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way I can keep track of them now that they're blind. And pencil I stole from my children. And need a notebook. Or just a piece of paper. This'll do. No, it won't. Oh, blank computer paper. Right here. All right. Let's do this. Glass 1, shall we? Glass 1 smells very good. It smells oaky and sweet. And that's kind of the theme of this. Son of a bitch! There goes my pencil. Kind of the theme of this blind flight is going to be an oaky sweet flight. What's the deal with Maker's Mark 24 and the heart release? Any good? I don't know yet. I definitely got a bottle and I definitely tried it, but I have no opinion yet. I will have an opinion soon. What was my pap? Oh, Richard Hanson's in the house. What's up, Richard? Richard from friggin' track bowling himself. Richard, so I'm thinking of getting, I don't know for sure yet because budget's kind of through the budget's bad. But being a high rev, lower, not low speed, but I feel like my ball's picking up too soon. And that track cipher looks like a nice high RG ball for me. My pap was, hey babe.
We're back. And the hose is leaking.
The hose is leaking?
Yeah, I don't know why, but
Huh.
I just wanted to tell you.
From where? The hose?
I don't know. There's just water all under it, and I heard it dripping.
Huh. Interesting. Hello. Love you.
Dada, guess what?
What? Dada, guess what? Oh, she'll have to tell me later. My pap is 4 13/16 over and 1 down. 11 degrees of tilt, 52 degrees of rotation. By the Star Trek, I'll take the Russells. That's funny. How far behind am I? 9 minutes? Come on, Matt. Get your shit together. Whatever you find at the alley, 14 pounds. I'm thinking about switch. So the last ball I got was a 14-pound ball. I've been using 15-pound balls majority of my bowling, but I am more accurate with a 14-pound ball. This first glass is oaky and cherry, but there is like an underlayment of like a must, like a, almost like not a sour barrel, but definitely oak influence, not in the, it's like a musty barrel influence. A little bit of a musty barrel. You ever go camping or hiking or whatever, and then you come across a log that's rotted, kind of like a rotted log? Yeah, that explains that. Down the hatch. That is a pleasurable experience. Oh, I got a pen. 1. Oak. Sweet. Musty. Yeah, that is good. That finish on there is very lingering. And the more, it's not very common for something to get sweeter on the finish, like as I'm sitting here. It's progressively, it's slowly getting sweeter. But also a little bit bitter too. Now it's more bitter. Bitterer. Bitterer. Now it's at the most bitter. Rotten log. Damn, that is good. Oh no, Matt picked another flight where he's just drinking good whiskey. Son of a bitch. You talked me into the Russell 015. Thank you. I'm going to get the Barrel King cigar. Barrel King cigar. The hell are you talking about? The cigar born event? Julie? Oh, eventually. Anything coming out of there is, everything that I've tried Barrel King related has been really damn good. Now Creek batch 1 or 2? 1. I'm going to pick up the 2. I've made up my mind that when I come across 2 next time, I'm picking one up. I don't know if SLB did a review on Star Trek, but if they did, that's a good one to watch. The Willet 8-year, Richard, is going to be very cinnamon forward typically. A lot of times the Willet bourbons remind me of a Willet rye. They kind of share a lot of the same characteristics, but not all of them. Some of them don't taste that way at all, which is weird, I know, but just the way it is. Old Forester doesn't do well in blinds. I have no faith in birthday bourbon. The blue blockers make me look like a state trooper. No. I'm too large to be a state trooper. Well, maybe not. Blank computer paper in the garage. It's in I've got a Rubbermaid shelving unit. There's so much stuff in here. I'm so unorganized. It's terrible. Please put the glasses back on and tell my friend Don he's out of his element. But, oh wow, they're all fogged up now. I'm finishing my coffee. I didn't watch my friends die face down in the muck. You know? Oh man, I'm so far behind. I'm trying to catch up. Gotta love leaking hose. That's terrible. Take care of your hose, Matthew. I will take care of it. I'll take care of it. Entering a world of pain. You know, we don't roll on Shabbos. Shabbos, dude, is a Jewish day of rest. I don't eat. I don't drink. I don't get out of bed. And I sure as shit don't fucking roll. Something like that. Yeah, I did number them, mother. See, this one says 2. What's your favorite non-bourbon whiskey? What's your favorite, like a non-bourbon whiskey? Thank you for the super chat, Rich. I mean, I love rye whiskey, so my favorite non-bourbon, or is non-bourbon a brand? Second glass is oakier, maybe a slight peanut, like a peanut shell, and heavy oak. My favorite non-bourbon whiskey? That's hard. That's a hard one. I mean, I know that there are other things that I enjoy more, but like the first thing that comes to mind that I absolutely love, that's not a bourbon but a rye, let's say a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, are really, really damn good. There, I said something. I made a decision even though, oh shit, bachelor party whiskey. Fighting Cock. You can buy them for very cheap, and it's 103 proof. It's not a terrible bourbon either, and also it's just funny. Fighting Cock, bourbon whiskey, Heaven Hill distillate, like $15. Bachelor party bourbon right there. Yeah, second glass is a bit going in the direction of more of a peanut shell, but not overly nutty. It's more like extra aged oak with a dash of peanut shell in there. Smells really, really damn good. Wow. Yeah, that is the nose carried right over to the palate. This one's a bit thicker, a bit oilier, probably higher proof. It's got a, and I'm not trying to guess what these are, but actually, you know what? I was going to say this has to be either the Knob 18 or the Jim Beam lineage, but Elijah Craig 18 is also not this nutty. That is really good, though. I don't mind a nutty profile once that nutty profile is incorporated into something that has some age to it. Like, young nutty whiskey bothers me because it's sharp and pointy and just aggressively nutty. When you add that nutty profile in with like the darker vanillas and darker brown sugars and boiled down fruits and the extra old oak, then it starts to like it's no longer like being a bad thing. It's actually almost a good thing that it's incorporated in that. It's like a complement to the flavors instead of being something that's a negative. So, old, complementary nutty, complement nuts. Old complement nuts. Very oily. Moving on to glass 3. Is Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend worth $200? If you haven't had a Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend and you are... Why won't it show the damn message? There it is. If you haven't had a Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend and you're not totally against finished whiskeys, then they do vary batch to batch, but I mean, that's about as low as you're going to pay for one. So, and also it depends on your budget. Like, not everybody can, like, just goes out and picks up $200 bourbons like they're nothing. So, but yes, that's a good price for one. 2XO Sneakerhead. I've seen pictures of it, but I haven't heard any tasting notes or anything. Haven't heard anyone who's tasted it yet. I bet you Mash and Drum will probably be the first one that gets his hands on one of those. Just can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Blended, Barrel King Magnificent 7 against Magnus Cigar Blend and Starlight Cigar, Barrel King 1. That's not surprising to me at all. The Magnificent 7 is an amazing bottle from Barrel King. The Magnus Cigar Blend, I'm sure, put up a great fight. Those are, like I said, depending on the batch, they can be super incredible or they can just be a good pour. The fact that it beat a Starlight Cigar batch does not surprise me in the least. I don't... I think, isn't Starlight Cigar batch just Amberana finished? Or am I wrong about that? I think I've had a Starlight Cigar batch before and it's just Amberana. What's the guy got to do around here to get a purple wrench? You're not a moderator? Let me go over to YouTube and make that happen. Manage. Here we go. Where's Mr. Kavanaugh's name on here? There he is. Put user in timeout. Hide user on the channel. Report. No. Oh, there it is. Add as moderator. There, Bill. Jeez, that took a... I didn't know that you were not a moderator. So... I probably have like 0 mods in chat ever. It's kind of a funny thing. I think my mom's a moderator. Whiskeyland TV is in the house. What's up? Hope you're having an awesome night. Parker's Heritage 14-year bourbon. Is that a new one? Is the 14-year Wild Turkey 101 8-year 70th anniversary just dropped here for 55. Is it a back it up? I would definitely back it up. I haven't tried it yet. Bruce Russell told us all about it when we did the Wild Turkey pick a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I would buy. This is what when they eventually drop here, because supposedly it's going to be a big drop, like a big release. I'm going to buy one to open and one to stash. For reasons that you'll know later. I'm not going to buy a bunch. And neither should you. Just buy one to drink and one to put in your backup cellar. Last 3. Dwayne Clow picked up the Magi from Cat's Eye Distillery on a road trip. Have you tried it? That's hilarious because I poured it for the blind pour tonight and I smelled it, but I thought somebody spoiled the pour in chat, told me what it was, and so I poured it back. But I almost tasted that tonight, Dwayne. That's really funny. This third one is... I have no idea what this one is. This one seems to be fruitier. Like a turnt fruit. Almost like fruit that's going bad. Like if you put, what do you call it? A fermenting fruit? Yeah. Every time I think fermenting fruit, I just think about this dude who some of my best friends used to live with, was a roommate with this guy, and he made his own wine. And the carboy, the glass container that he made, was just sitting next to the couch with the hoses and shit coming out of it. That's kind of what that smelled like. Yeah. There's definitely oak here as well. Doesn't smell as old as the last glass, but also a bit sharp. Not like a dark, deep, thick nose, but more of an abrasive, sharp oak. Definitely an aged oak, but not something that's like, how do I word it? Just a brighter, fruitier oak profile. Ooh, that is good though. Good grief. Oh, yeah. Pleasure pockets. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's playing well in the mouth. Oh, yeah. For that, I did not expect that flavor out of that nose. Very fruity, like a bouquet of fruit. Like a, like if you splashed a fruit oil in your mouth that was like aged in new charred oak barrels for a very long time and had alcohol in it. It's like a mixed fruit jam. Not necessarily, there's strawberry notes there, but it's like strawberry and the purple fruits mixed together. Exactly like mixed fruit jam. Damn, that was good. That was better than expected. Nose, meh. Palate, yeah. Fruity, yummy. All right, we're halfway through. And then obviously have to retaste a few of them to make sure that I'm correct about stuff. How did I get caught up already? I'm definitely not caught up. It's telling me that I am. if only this newfound status gave me the power to unmute Matt when he forgets to do it. It doesn't do that. No, it won't let you control the mute button. That's funny. Oh, Craig Hart. Here's for your new pearl or angular ball count. It's been a while. I forgot what they're called. Well, the pearl balls are later, right? They skid further. So I have, thank you for the super chat, by the way. I do have a few pearl balls. I have Hammer Black Widow Darkness, and I have a Storm Virtual Energy Blackout. Oh, I have actually 4 pearl balls. I have a Storm IQ Tour Ruby, which I don't use, and a Rotogrip Hustle M&M, which I use on dry lanes, which was like my favorite dry lane ball. But I'm looking for, I think I need a higher RG ball. A higher RG ball will, just the way that the core is positioned and the shape of the core isn't going to pick up until later. Like, it takes longer. The more I talk about it, the dumber I'll sound. I'm like halfway to understanding everything, if that makes sense. But all of my balls are lower RG, meaning that they pick up earlier on the lane. But with a higher rev rate, you don't necessarily need that, from what I understand. Unless Phil from Radical is totally wrong, but I totally doubt that. Adam McIntyre, Matt, you're a glorious son of a bitch. Thank you for super chat. It's so good to catch you live. This is a damn good start to the weekend. Adam, high five. Thank you for being here. Wow. That is like oak toffee. An oak toffee with a dash of peanut butter. It's like a Score candy bar, if that like lived next to a Butterfinger for like several months on the shelf, and they picked up each other's scents. It's like the girls who start, what's the word, like their periods getting the same rhythm, you know. It's like if a Score candy bar and a Butterfinger candy bar, if their periods got aligned. Yeah. Definitely smells very good. There seems to be almost a little bit of citrus here as well, but underneath that initial toffee peanut butter. Maybe a hint of citrus. Okay. That went in a different direction, I thought, too. The musty note I got on glass 1, I got that on the nose. This musty note came through on the palate. Still super good, though. There is a fruity element to it, which I enjoy. But the oaky peanut butter profile was a bit musty. Like I said, like that rotten log note I got on the nose of 1 was on the palate of this one. Toffee, peanut butter. Still a great experience. Still very oily. Still hangs on for dear life. Very sticky. Maybe a bit bright. Mid palate, it's a bit sharp, but other than that, fantastic. Musty palate. These are going to be hard. These are going to be really hard. To really get correct. Not correct, but who's yelling at you? Oh, it was WJK yelling at you? But the hitting the like button? Hit the like button or else. Is Bardstown still running World's Top Whiskey Taster? Not that I've heard of. They didn't do it last year, and I don't know if they'll do it again. I don't know if they're going to plan on doing it again or not. I have not heard. Pleasure Pockets, what pants do those come in? It's the pleat of the pants. It's the pleat of the pants. Bourbon Pursuit, double-barreled bourbon? Not yet. Not the double-barreled stuff. Steve in Alston just bought the 2024 Old Forester Birthday Bourbon at secondary for $500 because I did not win the honor to buy one in the annual offering from the distillery. I don't know if anybody won that. The funny thing was, I was in Louisville that weekend, or that week. And on that specific day, so when I signed up for the birthday bourbon thing, I was like, this is meant to be. I'm going to be in Louisville that day. This was meant to happen. And then I got the email that told me that it was not meant to happen. They said, you were not selected even though you felt like you should have been. You weren't. Score is such a deep cut and I'm here for it, says Adam McIntyre. That one's the most unique note. Well, there's a Heath bar, which is toffee, but it is milk chocolate, right? No, that's not right. I think Heath and Score bars are both milk chocolate, but the Score bar, the toffee in the Score bar is like a darker toffee. It's like a more robust toffee. Will anyone pay $125 for Old Forester 1924 when it's not allocated eventually? I'd pay $125 for a backup, for another bottle. My 1924 is on the floor. And we're at what, like half bottle or so? Maybe a little over, I don't know. Based off of girth. But every time I see one, they're like $200. And I'm not paying $200 for one of those. I might like that more than I like that. We'll see. Okay. 1924 is going away forever after next batch only had so many barrels that were... Why did they say that it was going to be an everyday thing then? They're fibbers. They're totally fibbers. Okay, glass 5. Keith Casey Weld. Nothing to add, just thank you, and I hope you are well. Love you. Love you too, Keith. Thank you so much. That's an awesome super chat. Yeah, all is good. I mean, like, mostly good. Everything's mostly good. But I appreciate that. Not definitely, that's very nice. Glass 5 is... in my mind, glass 5 is what Elijah Craig barrel proof used to be. I know this is, whatever this is not at that proof point. Because it can't be. But when I used to smell Elijah Craig barrel proof, it was this awesome mix of like barrel house, old, oaky, dark fruits, and like barrel char bourbon. But it was all... None of those notes stood out as a single note, but they were all just put together and equally into like... Sometimes if you like color, or even a bowling ball. I don't have a good example here, but like the colors are like, there's white and then there's purple and blue or whatever. But like this is more of, if brown were a beautiful color, this is like, it's all coming together in a beautiful way. Like if you put a bunch of different pinks and purples together to make, I don't know, I'll shut up. But it smells good. Wait a minute. May have spoke too soon. My first smell may have thrown me off. No, it smells good. Yeah, a lot of those flavors, the oak is starting to poke a little bit more, poke its head out a little bit more, in a slightly oakier profile than I originally thought. But damn, that smells good. That is right up my alley. Let's go for a sip. Oh yeah. Shiver me timbers. Paul Bunyan's backswing, that's nice. And it's continuing to get better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oak. Sugars. Fruits. HJs. I'm just kidding about that part. Yeah. I didn't expect any of them to hit like that. That hit good and deep. Sorry I got super excited about it. Super sorry. You feel like you're going to get selected too, Chris? Yeah, it's a bummer when you get that email that says no. Wasn't the 1924 the early times barrels they acquired? I don't think so, because they were 10 years old, right? And early times, when did they acquire early times? 2 years ago? My years get like really bad. I'm thinking that early times was acquired by Sazerac 2 years ago, but somebody will tell me it's been 5 years, and then that'll blow my mind. But if early times bottled and bond was between 4 and 5 years old, 6 years old at the oldest, that would just put that at 8 years old, in my mind. Those barrels. I could be, if it was longer than 2 years ago though, then that's just how my brain works. You may be the only one who dislikes early times bottled and bond, but I really dig. Well, I mean, the oak that's on the Old Forester 1924 makes all the difference. Like, that age makes something that much better. Like, I don't think that there is any comparison, even the best early times. Listen, early times was amazing because it was super cheap and it was 1 liter. And it was that good. But the 1924, it's not cheap. And it's, less whiskey, but it's 10 years old, paid way too much. But the flavor difference, I take 1924 every single day. Every day. Hey, did you guys ever see that clip with Stone Cold Steve Austin tasting wine with The Undertaker? Classic. I'll pull that up in a second too. Just because I have to. I watched it the other day and I laughed so hard. Wow. Smell that. Get in there and smell that. I'm not looking at the bottom, I promise. That is probably the best nose of the whole bunch. The 6th glass. Is it better than 5's nose? 6 is like a real... Wow, I thought I loved 5's nose. 6's nose is like... leveled up. Really leveled up. All the good notes, all the best notes that you get on the rest of these, except for like turned up a little bit. Turned up a bit. Yeah. I edited out a part of a video the other day. What the hell was my last video? I can't remember. There's only one video this week because of poor time management skills, and I've been sick. But I said something about if you like you had, well, was that a different video? Shit, I don't remember shit anymore. This might be in a video I haven't even edited yet. But it reminds me of what I said about that. if there's like an equalizer, remember you had like the old stereos with the equalizer, and it's like you can adjust like there's the low frequency and like the mid, like you get like a 10 band graphic equalizer. If this one was like oak, you just crank that one on, and then like the like barrel char, crank that one. It's like when you used to turn the bass up with your factory 6x9s and your Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme or Cutlass Sierra, if I'm being super personal, and you just listen to them rattle, you know, listening to Master P, who will make them say, oh, oh, na 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 na. You don't see no motherfucking P. This is a good song. Master P. No Limit Records. Hell yeah. By the way, I didn't even read Steven's super chat. Bought this year's Old Forester birthday bourbon from a liquor store in Indiana that has 2 cases of it. Honey Hole and Corridon. My favorite, I've never been to Corridon, but Triangle Liquors in Michigan City, also a very good store, if you're ever in Michigan City. Sazerac, oh boy, Sazerac Company purchased the Early Times Bottled in Bond. 2020? No way. Are you shitting me? That's not true, is it? That was 2020? Oh my gosh, my calendar, my years are so far off. They're so far off. 2020. Which would put them at, if they were 6 years old then, it could be 10 years old now. Damn. Just signed up for the Barrel King tonight. Went with the cigar blend. Hell yeah, Nate. And then some of the single barrels, the Sib Pluses this month, are friggin' awesome. Like really, really awesome. They're mostly 11-year MGP, 36% rye, with a dash of 9-year put in them. And yeah, Pappy Van Brubeck. Ernie, is that you? Ernie, are you Pappy Van Brubaker maker? Because if so, your name keeps getting better and better. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully the family's good. Oh, the Pappy 20 video. Yeah, that was the oak equalizer that I probably edited out. Have I tried the Disco 12 yet? I have not. Not in our market yet. Kentucky Spirit is underrated. I totally agree. Kentucky Spirit, the last ones I got a Tyrone one and a Camp Nelson one. The Camp Nelson one was significantly better. By the way, I just remembered that I already talked about the Russell's pick, but my 4-gate pick drops next Friday, the 27th, I think it is. It is an 8-year, 9-month Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 4 Roses. I think, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, due to a binding contract that says I will not mention 4 Roses when speaking about my 4-gate barrel pick. I just want to say that 4 Roses is delicious, and I love it, and at 8 years, 9 months, it tastes great when finished in a California red wine cask. And there are the 130 bottles, I believe, so that will be up for patrons next Friday. King of Kentucky is also the early time. Oh, the mash bill. Yes. Yeah, you're totally right. The 1924 is the early times mash bill. Yeah. But I thought that... So earlier was said was 1924 was the early times barrels, but when Sazerac purchased early times from Brown Forman, they also got the barrels. I think that was part of the deal, right? That Sazerac acquired all the stock of the early times barrels, so that wouldn't make sense that it was those barrels. Could have the same mash bill, and they just had them set aside for something else, sure. But I know that was part of the deal, was that they were acquiring their early time stock. Oh, I have no idea what I don't know about that, Stephen. I don't know. They don't go that far into detail. Just a mash bill and age, state of distillation. That's a bummer. Glass 6 fell flat. Like big time flat. Very good. The nose was out of this world. The palate fell totally flat compared to glass 5. I think. I'll have to taste glass 5 again. But there is almost great nose, flat palate. Maybe I was probably talking too long also. There is like a stone fruit note in there, like a peach. A bit of a peach note on there. Peach note. Let me go back to 5 just to see if I was correct in thinking that, because I did wait a while before I tasted glass 6, and sometimes that can have an effect. But it's normally the opposite. If you wait too long, it should stand out even more since I waited that long. Heading to Novi, Michigan, looking for Disco 12, as we do not have distribution in Washington. Any store recommendations? In Novi? No idea. I'm from the UP originally. I'm betting 6 is Old Forester birthday bourbon then. Great nose, palate disappoints. Do you get any sort of a peach or like a stone fruit on the palate of that, Bill? The Brubaker Maker says, I'm a grandpa, and it has been decided that I'll be called Pappy. Was wearing the Bring Me the Pappy at the time. All thanks. That's hilarious. Ernie, congratulations. Cheers. Cheers, Ernie. Congrats on being a grandpa. Ding. What did a 40-year-old virgin, what did Steve Carell say? You're hot and you're a grandma. Or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. I might have been over ambitious on glass 5 now. I have had a Disco 11. No peach. But it has a world-class nose and a zip code class palate. That's funny. Yeah, the nose on 6 is ridiculous. That's way closer than I thought. Something happened between the time I tasted glass 5 and was so excited about it, and then tasting glass 6. Because going back to glass 5 is not how I remembered it at all. So this is way, way closer than I thought. And glass 6 actually might be much better whiskey than I originally thought too, on the palate. All right, only one way to do this. Okay, the other thing is this. So I said 5 was so damn good. What that means is glass 4 must have been the influence on glass 5. I did like glass 4. Oh, well, glass 4 I seemingly liked. This is starting to make sense. If I loved glass 5 after tasting glass 4, that makes sense. Because I didn't necessarily love glass 4 the most. Yeah. Which was a toffee bomb. There's so much toffee on here, it's incredible. It's incredible. I smelled the toffee, I said, wow, is that incredible. It zinged right past the toffee. My impressions are not getting any better. Yeah, that's why. Glass 5 tasted so good because glass 4 was a little underwhelming. Now I see. What's Whiskey Problems talking about? Since it's been 4 years now since Brown Forman sold early times, any guesses when King of Kentucky will be discontinued or reformulated? I don't know about all that. So let's look at it logistically here. I don't know if logistically is the word. It's kind of like, and I don't know this for sure, but so you know how everything that is Weller, Special Reserve, and the Van Winkle stuff, they share the same mash bill, right? But they're aged differently, stored differently. Who knows how distilleries do that? Like, honestly, it's a good question. Something that I'd like to ask in a way that would make people think I'm stupid, but that's just my charm. Like, when things are barreled, do they have in mind, like, what this will eventually be? Like, if they know it's going to, like, be distilled this to be future King of Kentucky, does it go in a different rickhouse, in a different tier, in a different place where things age really well for a very long period of time, versus the same mash bill stored in a different location, in a different rickhouse, on a different tier, that ages really well to become a good 4 to 5 year old bottled and bond bourbon? Hard to say. So when they sold off their early times barrels, was it everything that was the same? Was it everything from that mash bill, or just the barrels that were like designated to be early times? Who the hell knows? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Not even smart enough to freaking barely go to the doctor. But just thoughts that I have. Stephen Johnson, thanks so much for your content. It is so pure, genuine, and authentic. It's just, thank you for saying that. It's just this. You are the bright sunrise, the darkest dawn. Oh, thank you. Wait. Hear that? Something I miss about whatever car that was. Like very quick shifting, automatic transmission. I miss manual transmission vehicles. Like when somebody hits second gear or hits third gear in a manual transmission vehicle, it just hits different than those very fast, quick shifting, loud automatic transmission or like paddle shifting transmission vehicles. I know that they're faster because they're automatic now, which never was the case before, but still. wasn't a motorcycle. That was definitely a car. What are we drinking tonight? A blind flight. It is Old Forester Birthday Bourbon versus Jim Beam Lineage, Remus Repeal Reserve, Rebecca Creek 12, Ledger Creek 18, Knob Creek 18. That's what we are in the middle of. So I'm going back through my notes. This is a very difficult flight because not one of them, I thought that Glass 5 was a standout, but going back to it, not so much. So I need to put these in some sort of an order, and it's going to be very difficult. Go back to Glass 1. Glass 1 is warm. Oh, I like Glass 1. Son of a bitch. This is going to be so hard. So hard. Now I want to go back to Glass 5. Going back and forth. But can we all drive a standard transmission? I mean, I can. I mean, a standard transmission is... I feel like there are two things that make a man, which is a joke and not true, but just bear with my story here. This is, what's the word? That's not sadism. That's not the word. Wow. Pretty close to saying it, though. Satire. Wow. See how those were very close? Satire and the other. Excuse me. This is satire, but yes, Emberlon, you heard me and answered me probably before I said it. Two things that make a man. Standard transmission. If you can drive a standard transmission, if you can double clutch downshift, hey, guess what? Look at you. Look at you rev matching. You glorious son of a bitch. And bowling. Because I always say, and a very athletic looking man, let's say goes to the gym 3 times a week and is in pristine shape. Let's say that I was younger and single, which I would hate to be because I love my life. But if I were in that scenario and I were on a dating show, a live, what do you call it? Reality TV dating show where it was me, like this. And there was a chick who's like, listen, if I pick you, you win me and $35 million. And I'm down to the final round. And it's me versus Bruno. And Bruno is from some Eastern European country. He's just super jacked out of his friggin' mind and tan. And he's got an accent. And like, she'd be so dumb to pick me, right? Well, guess what, lady? Who's the most coordinated? Bring 'em bowling. Coordination. You will embarrass a muscle-bound German. Yeah. So quickly in the bowling alley. Make him look super silly. He bowls off the wrong foot. Just looks super silly. And then all of a sudden I come up just like, shoo, just shoo. Guess what? She can't pick him anymore. She can't do it. Because he looks like an idiot. And then he can't get out of the parking lot because I brought a 1988 Toyota Tercel in a 5-speed with a slipping clutch. It's where I live. That's 5. Just say you can drive a manual transmission, that's not enough. Just saying it's not enough. Oh, 5 is familiar now. Probably because I just tasted it. Idiot. Shoot. We taste 3 and 2. Go back to 3 and then 2. Mute myself while I cough, like a gentleman. Unmute myself and apologize. Sorry about that. Mark, stop. Mark. Knowing how to drive a manual doesn't make you look impressive if it's a 1992 Geo Metro. It sure does. It sure does. Oh, let's go. Yeah, dude, let's go bowling. Ford Tempo. I had a friend. Oh, Damien, I had a friend who had... I don't think it was a 91. Probably a 95. 95, that is, it's got to be 95-ish, right in that area. And we were high school, and we drove to town one day. Town was like 30 miles away. And we get to town, and he's like, I got to get gas. My gas gauge doesn't work. And he pulled into a gas station at a Shopco, which is like a Kmart kind of thing. Not a lot of places at Shopco, but Shopco had a gas station attached to it that was full service. So you didn't have to pump your own gas. And the dude like put like $3 or $2 worth of gas in it, and it was full. And I almost said his name, but I'm not. The driver of the vehicle, my friend, is like, that's impossible. It's got to be on empty. My gas gauge doesn't work. Just keep filling it. And the guy was like, it is full. And then he overflowed it onto the ground. And my friend is like, wow, this thing must get tremendous gas mileage. I don't know. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. Because Tempo probably did get good gas mileage. Probably did get very good gas mileage. For having a Chevette, that's pretty bullshit, huh? The Chevy made a Corvette and a Chevette, and they were both totally different. Or how about the Ford Fiesta, Festiva, and Festiva. Oh, there's a third one that sounded just like it. Like, how do they have so many different cars with the same name? Fiesta, Festiva, and Festival. There's a Ford Festival, a Ford Fiesta, and a Ford Festiva. Fiesta. Yeah. At the same time. Like, who gives an F what F car you drive? Stick shift equals anti-theft device, kinda. Some of these comments, holy crap. Suzuki Samurai, that's old school. I'm old enough to admit I drove a 1988 Camaro stick shift. You're bragging. You're bragging. An 88 Camaro stick shift? Was it an IROC or was it an RS? I feel like WJK drove an IROC. He drove an IROC Z. And if he drove an RS, then that's why he achieved and grew. Like a little Lebowski urban achiever. Really? Oh man. Some of these scores are not what... The more you taste oaky whiskey next to oaky whiskey, the more you realize that you should trust your initial palate. But at the same time, the more you second guess yourself, kind of like bowling. Yeah. Yeah, this is difficult. This is hard. Toyota Tercel, yeah. My brother had Tercel when he was in high school. If you're doing a blind flight, the shades should be on. They're not shades, they're just blue blockers, and they get foggy. See how foggy they are? '76 Ford Maverick, pea green. I have a Ford Maverick today, but it's a miniature truck. You call it pea green. My dad used to call it bug shit green. Unless those are two different colors. Apparently no one has heard of a Studebaker. Bob Glass's '66 Fury? Dwayne Clough, Pinto wagon, and you're still alive. Dwayne, you had a Pinto and you survived. I think there was a Facebook group for you, Dwayne. Pinto Survivor. Tactical drinking shades? Yeah. It's a league game, Smokey. This is 4. Okay, 4, no. Realistically, this is the hardest blind flight I've found in a very long time. Which I guess makes sense, considering. It's not like you put a bad whiskey in the blind. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Just gotta go back to number 1, and then I will finalize my blind here. Your brother had a Pinto that blew up? That's not all right. You had a Dodge Ram that blew up. Like a Ford Pinto blows up, or like a different, like the engine blew up? They're different. Dad's brother rolled a pink Studebaker in a cornfield. A pink Studebaker? What in the world? Jeez. This is a fun chat tonight. I'm enjoying this a lot. Let me do this. Bear with me. 2. What? No. 3. All right. I have my order. Is it anywhere near what it should be? I'm not sure. This was probably the most difficult flight I've done in a very long time. Just with like, everything starts to run together a little bit. So what I did was I marked down my order, my final order, and then my original order. So let's do it this way. Final order. Final order is, in last place was glass 4. It was the toffee peanut butter one, like a Scoreboard and the Butterfinger bar. Still super good, but just didn't quite hold up to the rest. And it is in glass 4. Glass 4 is, I'm not sure what letter that is. D. D. Which one was D? KC18 was D? Was it really? Oh, because that was a dangling neck tag. Dangling tag was D. Wow, that is a surprise. But even when I went back to it, it was in last place originally. And then when I went back to it, it still stayed there. I love Knob Creek 18. That is weird. It's been open a very long time. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. In 5th place was... Oh, shoot. Well... Alright. Never mind. In 5th place was Glass 3. Glass 3 is letter E, which is the Elijah Craig 18, because it's almost empty. And what I was hemming and hawing about was looking at my scores. I may have had Elijah Craig, or I may have had, they're very close. The 6th and 5th place. Shoot, Elijah Craig 18. I love Elijah Craig 18. So that means that these are very good. The Rebecca Creek 12-year beat those out. That's nuts. In 4th place was, originally, I think that this was my favorite. I think that this was my favorite right out of the gate. But going back and tasting them, my order got skewed and screwed up. And I put this in 4th place, even though originally it was my 1st place. Which is weird, I know. So, we're going to find out right now if I don't know, Glass 5. Remember when I tasted Glass 5, I threw a huge shit fit about how much I loved it. But when I went back to it after I tasted the other things, I wasn't so sure. So it eventually fell in 4th place. Glass 5. Yikes. This is B. Is that the Lineage? Or is that the Remus? It was either the Remus or the Lineage. I think it was the Remus, right? The Remus Repeal Reserve, was that Remus? Okay. So the Remus came in 4th place. I do love the Remus. In 3rd place was number 2. Old. A complimentary nuts. Very oily. C. What is C? C was the Lineage? Because I couldn't wait. Shoot. So, the Lineage came in 3rd place. All right. Very, very good. Second place was Glass 6, because originally I thought that the nose was incredible and the palate fell off. But after retasting them, I realized that the palate didn't fall off. It was very much on point with the rest of them. But these two could be flip-flopped. It's down to Birthday Bourbon, which was Birthday Bourbon and was number 1. And number 1. So in second place was number 6. Then after retasting them, I put number 1 in first place. So number 6 and number 1. 6. 1. Glass 6 is letter A, which is the Birthday Bourbon, and the winner was in Glass F. What in the hell was in Glass F? The Rebecca Creek? No way. Are you shitting me with a shovel? A. F. You know what? I'm going to mix them up. Sheesh. That's crazy. So that's, you know what? I think this the Remus is the outlier when it comes to the point I'm about to make. The Rebecca Creek at 12 year is 99 proof, 99 point whatever proof, but it's cask strength. They did not add any water to it. Is that the same thing with the Remus? Is the Gatsby cask strength also? Because that kind of ruins my point. But the winner is the youngest whiskey, I would imagine. Unless the birthday, how old is a Birthday Bourbon this year? They don't get that old. But it's the Rebecca Creek they don't add water to. So it's 99 proof cask strength MGP. Wow, those smell very... They're very similar proofs. I think that the Birthday Bourbon's like 98 proof. The Birthday Bourbon's very, very good. I did not see that coming. Yeah, the 2023 is what I'm tasting right now. 12 year? That's weird. 2024 is 12 years, but the 2023 is in the sample, right? Matt saying 12-year-old cask strength MGP is delicious. Now, yeah, that is a fair point. So I see your point because I work with 11-year, like I've been working with 11-year cask strength MGP, but my preferences aren't based off of that. My preference, like I love oaky whiskey, oaky bourbon. I love it. Which one was 6? Was 6 the... So you were right, Bill. When I said that the nose was incredible, but the palate fell off, you said that was Old Forester Birthday Bourbon because you thought the same thing. And that's what came in second place. But I don't necessarily think that the MGP profile swayed me. because that doesn't necessarily dictate what I like and what I don't like. As a matter of fact, I can't say this for sure, like 100%, but I don't think that the 11-year-old stuff that we've been working with, the MGP stuff, has that same oak profile as this 12-year Rebecca Creek. It's a different profile altogether. Still super, super good, but just in a different way. The 2024 birthday bourbon was way better than 2023. 2024 birthday bourbon is light years beyond 1924. I mean, is the birthday bourbon all? Yeah, it is, right? Because on the I don't have a birthday bourbon, but on the label, doesn't it say it all comes from like the same lot, right? It says like distilled in this year and bottled in this year, so it's not like a blend of different ages. Yeah, they age the barrels for Rebecca Creek in Texas. Yeah, I wonder how long they were in Texas for, because I see a difference. I see a significant difference. Yeah, that makes sense. But still, I put the Rebecca Creek in there as... So the blind review of it, I absolutely loved. And then, truth be told, I got the bottle and sampled it, and I wasn't like over the moon about it. I was like, oh, this is good, but it's not like as good as I thought it was when I tasted it blind. Which is funny because like the label makes all the difference, right? The bottle makes all the difference. If I absolutely loved it blind and I revealed it and it was like a Van Winkle 12 year or something, I don't know. I've never owned a bottle of Van Winkle, but if I tasted it blind and I loved it, and then I got a bottle of it, then I poured it, I'm sure it would still be just as good. But for some reason, the Rebecca Creek 12 year, tasting it knowing what it wasn't as good as when I tasted it blind. But then I tasted it again blind tonight against all these, and it was like a shining star. That's really cool. The bottle on these things is fucking, like, literally way, way too thick and wide. This bottle is shaped like Jonah Hill, when Jonah Hill was not skinny. Is the Rebecca 12 99.68 proof? This one is 99.68 proof, yeah. Yeah, same proof. I'm good, Pez Reviews. How are you doing? I'm going to call it an evening, though. Yeah, the prices are super, super, super ridiculous. The prices of everything. Prices on everything is insane. I was at the store earlier, and I had to pick up a few things. And then I was like, oh, I should get this. And then I glanced at the price tag, and I was like, no. Like, stop. I'm not going to buy... They were cookies. I was at Walmart, and I picked up some stuff. I picked up some fruit, and then on the way through the fruit to the register, I happened to wander by some cookies. They're macadamia nut, and there were 6 of them. There were 6 of them in a container, and I was like, oh, I should probably get those because nobody will ever know. And then I looked up and it said $6.68 or $6.78, something like that. I was like, are you effing me with a friggin' pitch? Like, no way. I'm not buying 6 cookies for $7. No, I did not. And I've been craving sugar ever since. Steven, to our commercial to promote unknown Rebecca Creek. Frowny face. I'm trying to figure out what that means. It is unknown. It was unknown to me until I tasted it on a 1 ounce Wednesday. I really, really liked it. And then I literally purchased a bottle from somebody who could get it because it wasn't in my state. And then I decided to put it in this lineup because I thought it would be like a good thing to put in the lineup. I did not expect it to win. That's what blind flights are. If you would like me to put 6 birthday bourbon samples in the same flight, I can do that. I don't know what that means. I'm not angry, just disappointed. Where can you buy Rebecca? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I think Dan got this from Texas. I think this one came from Texas. Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate it, Mr. Stephen Elston. But I have zero, what's the word? Like if you are, when it's beneficial to you to do something for someone else, zero. I've never heard of, I've seen Rebecca Creek small batch bottles in a store. The 12-year stuff, I may have seen Cameron do a review of one a long time ago, but I've never tasted one. There's absolutely no benefit for me to say that something is good. The only, absolute only thing or things that benefit me to say that it is good are barrel picks that I choose, that I sell to my patrons. If I were to shout from the rooftops how good they are, that would benefit me. But I refuse to do that. I'll give tasting notes, I'll say, I don't know, but I don't do that. And then Barrel King stuff, because I'm employed by Barrel King. And although I shoot videos for Barrel King and give tasting notes and tell you whether or not I like how much I like them, like I'm never gonna lie, and I'm always gonna be apparent, like upfront about whether or not it benefits me. So that way you can take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what Rebecca Creek is. I think they're from Texas. Never spoken with them. No conversations, no relationship, and it benefits me zero. Out of this flight, would there be anything that would have benefited me by saying that I liked it the most? Lineage, never had a conversation with anybody from Jim Beam aside from doing a Knob Creek barrel pick through a third party. Birthday bourbon, absolutely not. I don't get media samples from Jim Beam or Old Forester. Never spoken with anybody or had any sort of relationship. Not even a barrel pick from Brown Foreman. I'm sorry, from Brown Foreman or Old Forester. Jack Daniels is the closest thing. A single barrel from Jack Daniels I did last year, but not even this year. MGP themselves, Remus Gatsby, zero relationship with MGP. Knob Creek falls into the same category as Jim Beam. And Elijah Craig 18, I've never spoken with anybody from Heaven Hill that I'm aware of. I got an email one time from probably a third party asking me if I would promote Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond, and I told them no, because I don't promote like certain products from certain companies, because it's what do you call it? You know. So no, none of these have benefited me at all, and I don't care what order they came in. That's what makes it fun. Conflict of interest is the right way to say it, yes. A conflict of interest would be for me to promote something that I'm reviewing. And when I shoot videos for Barrel King, I don't review them. I'm not giving them a score. I'm literally just giving you tasting notes and tell you how happy they make me, and that way that members of Barrel King can decide which one they want to get. That's all. Distillery in Texas. Yeah, Rebecca Creek sources, though, from Indiana. They're not... I mean, they might be making their own stuff, but the 12-year that I tasted tonight comes from Indiana. As Elsa says, let it go, let it go. Oh, now it's gone. But I'd like to be very clear about anything that I could be biased about or anything that could potentially benefit me. But in this lineup, nothing could have benefited me. So, the only thing that would have benefited me is if I said that the samples that Bill Kavanaugh sent me were the best, and I hope he sends me more. That could have benefited me. But I don't think Bill really cares what I say. He is just a glorious son of a bitch. Why is a bacon cheeseburger with sriracha the best burger? Really? I've never had a thing. I've never had a sriracha cheeseburger. Yikes. Yeah, Rebecca Creek is aging their own stuff, but all the older stuff in the market now is MVP. That makes sense. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. We did do the Elijah Craig toasted rye sampling, but I don't know. It's a toasted barrel thing for me. Eventually, I will find toasted barrel products that I enjoy. It might not be at this super dapper young age. Maybe when I grow older, I'll enjoy it more. I'm not sure. But it is out there, the Elijah Craig toasted barrel rye. And if you enjoy toasted barrel products, especially ryes, you might like it. But not for me. Blind tasted... The hell was my blind pour tonight? Originally it was the Magi, but I poured it back because I thought that it was... the Bardstown Foundation Stout Beer Finish. I really enjoyed the Stout Beer Finish Bardstown. And then the Blind Flight. If I were to redo the Blind Flight tomorrow and the next day, would the order be different? Probably. It'd probably be a little bit different. But the Old Forester birthday bourbon from last year stood up pretty well. And the Rebecca Creek 12-year was a standout. Really, really good. Sriracha burgers rock. That's crazy. Is it better than like a barbecue sauce with like onion rings and jalapeno burger? I kind of like a good barbecue burger. I just do. All right, I am out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and being here. I'm going to go to sleep so that I can wake up extra early in the morning and make my wife the absolute best biscuits and gravy that a Matt can make. And I'm going to eat some too. Is it only for her because it's her birthday? Yes and no. Yes, because I'll do anything for her, and it's going to be her birthday. No, because I also love biscuits and gravy. So I'll bet it's going to be good. Good night, Mother. Good night, Bill Kavanaugh. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Don't Don't forget the leaking pipe. It's not the pipe, it's the hose. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to go outside and scope it out right now. It hasn't gotten that cold out where the hose should be... No water is frozen yet. Here. Not even close. I'm wondering... Huh. Interesting. I'm wondering... Oh, you know what? Where could the water be dripping from? Either from... You know what? I bet you it's coming from the handle itself. Like that handle, the... But then again, why would it? When I put it back, it was not. I don't know. We'll find out. If it's super interesting, I'll go live again to talk about it. But it probably won't be. Love you all so much. Have an awesome night. Anything else I need to talk about? I don't think so. We're good. See you all next week. Until then, my name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, the guy I always say, prepare the closet with your mind on fixing leaking hoses. And giving yourself extra time to think about answers. Because you're going to use time to your advantage. And also never compare yourself to a celebrity or tell anyone to call you by a celebrity's name. Because once that celebrity does something absolutely terrible, that might live on the internet forever. So do not call me P. Diddy or Puff Daddy or Diddy or nothing like that. Please. Stupid video. Should have never said that. You guy's a jerk for fucking me over too. Bye. Love you guys. Have a good night.